should first up, and that's why they should listen to what we say, right? Because we said that instead of limiting the number of patents that a company does own, essentially, we think that it should be rather that the government should regulate how or make it easier for patents to be obtained in the first place, right? It should be made cheaper. They didn't give any justification of as to why you should limit the number of patents rather than just make it easier for these companies to obtain in the very first place, right? So then let's before I move on to my substantive that talks about how their policy is going to be just very, very harmful for smaller companies or medium enterprises, essentially, right? I'll be addressing a few rebuttals. So the first thing that they said on the idea of innovation was that the loss of R&D can be recuperated. So now the government is justified for these companies to make the loss. Firstly, no justification of why the company should in the first place incur a loss because of the limit of patents. But on the second level, they didn't tell us why it was the government's prerogative to ensure that smaller companies can necessarily do well, right? Because that's what the essence of the free market is, to let any company, whatever the size, be able to compete on its own without really having government restrictions which limit the very ability of these larger companies to maximize profits. They kept harping about how profit is a bad thing, but they never told us why the government should minimize those very profits when the sole aim of any company in the first place is to increase those very profits, right? On the second level, they said that they're going to exploit consumers, and they talked about how they're going to maximize money and Apple will release their products late. Firstly, that's not true that these companies like Apple hold their consumers hostage, because they know that Apple, firstly, is not 30 years ahead of all the other technological companies. But on the second place, they also know that if Apple suddenly increases their prices to an exorbitant level, these consumers will just switch to things like Microsoft because they are there right at their heels trying to compete with Apple at the very first place, right? So there really isn't any disparity within these companies in the first place. On the second issue about competition, firstly, competition can exist in any scenario. What they're doing is they're limiting the ability of larger companies then to compete to the best level, because they do at the end of the day have the best research and developmental facilities and technology that is there, right? But on the second level, they said that if a company is big, like say if they have 5 patents and they're in status quo, Apple is so many years ahead, so only Apple can develop that particular technology. That's going by this. If you go by that logic, what then happens is that means that smaller companies in status quo itself will never develop technologies or newer technologies. That's not happening in status quo. You see so many smaller tech companies coming up with the most unique patents that are there, and they have that incentive just because they know that that technology is valued so much higher in the market, and because there isn't a limit on these number of patents that are there in the very first place. Right? This debate is not about existing technologies. It's about new technologies being introduced, and what their policy does is it doesn't change anything in the very first place. Rather, it harms not only bigger companies, like Pragna said, but also it harms the small and medium enterprises that do develop these technologies. And here's where I'll be moving on to my substantive. But before that, NTU.
You say that innovation under our policy will stagnate, but under your policy, you are regulating them as well by reducing the cost of patents and forcing them to reduce the cost of the product. That's worse.
No, that's not worse. Why? Because we say that when you regulate and make it easier for smaller companies, because that is their core problem, right? That smaller companies can't get access to patents because they are more expensive, and so they won't innovate. We say that now not only do we encourage technology and innovation within bigger companies, because now they can obtain these technologies easier and develop them further, but we also say that smaller technologies in the very first place can obtain these patents and do whatever they want with it, right? So now I'll move on to my substantive that talks about how this policy is harmful to small and medium enterprises, right? But when you see startups and small these enterprises, right, they have the ability to create a lot of patents or technology, ignoring any assumptions that they made that, oh, you need to have a base. No, that's not true. Smaller companies have that drive, they have that ability, and they have the motivation to make that money, and they're spot on by that very motivation to make the most unique product possible, because they know that it is so competitive at the end of the day, and that the barrier to entry of capital can be overcome by something like innovation by something like the most unique product in the market itself. Right? So now when they have, while it can make these products, what it lacks is the outreach. It lacks the market. It lacks the marketing capabilities or know-how to make that very product appealing to everyone else, right? And that value and that limit that comes about because of this size with respect to manpower and with respect to human resources and just normal research and technology not only causes a stagnation of that very innovation, but what happens is now that bigger companies can obtain these very patents. What happens is the value of that patent increases, and the value because of that outreach and the fact that so many other people can now benefit from that patent means that the value of that patent is so much more. And we think that is good, that when the outreach and the benefit can reach so many people, and when that ability of that company to go and appeal to so many people is there, we think that companies should be able to exploit that in the first place, right? But on the other hand, not only do bigger companies have technology, but the incremental development that a bigger company can do on a particular base patent or a technology is a lot higher than that of a startup. That is how Apple or Samsung and all, when they have a patent, because of the advanced research and technological facilities that they have, the incremental development is a lot more. It's harder for a smaller company to develop on a particular technology or a patent. And we think that because the benefits of these larger companies when it does develop a newer technology is so much more, and so because it can capitalize a lot more and provide more benefits to these consumers, we think not only is it beneficial for the consumers, but for the companies as well. And the smaller companies, on the other hand, they have the motivation and the spurt to be creative because they know that if their technology is the most unique, they will get money from it, right? They will, because it is that competitive in status quo. The research and development that these bigger companies have is unmatched regardless of what you say. And limiting that very research and technology, we think, is extremely harmful, and that's why we're very proud to oppose.